Good day, ma'am. I'm Jervis Bersoto from section 1E2, and this video is all about what I learned from your discussion about CLJ. Criminal Justice System by Porfirio C. Madelo as a system which consists several parts that interacts with each other from produce some result defined as the machinery which the society uses in the prevention and control of crime. Justice. Social norm providing guidance for the people. A social standard offering the medium of control of the people. Substan- Substantive justice. Concern with how best to allocate, distribute, and protect the substantive values of society. Procedural justice, concerned with how law was administered, machinerism, or process are used. Schools of thought about justice. Positive law theory. Justice is served by adhering the law. Social good theory. Principle of what right and just may change as social conditional and needs. Nature right theory. Divine or origin justice can be summarized by this rule: render to each his right or due. Law. Instrument for justice. Major input to the CJS. Method of social control. Forms of law. Common law, known in other countries as the body of principles, practices, usage, and rules of action. Statutory law, a legislated law or law made by legislature. Case law, made by justices in case decided in the appellate courts, especially by the Supreme Court. Types of law. Civil law. Law in which something to do with such contracts, wills, inheritance, marriage, divorce, and private injuries with a called torts. Criminal law, or division of law which defines crimes, treats of their nature, and provides for their punishment. Civil, proof beyond reasonable doubt, a cost. Criminal, preponderance of evidence. Administrative, substantial evidence. Elements of criminal law. Its major purpose or function. Preservation of social order in the society. Sanction, referred as a satisfaction to the public. Major components or pillar of CJS and its function. Law enforcement consists the Philippine National Police focus on the prevention and control of crimes. Prosecution, the primary concern is the investigation of the grievances of complaining. Courts, given the prosecution to prove that there is a strong evidence. Note, if there is any reasonable doubt the accused committed the crime, he has to be acquitted. Correctional, takes over the accused can apply for probation over to a institutional or institutional custodial treatment and rehabilitation. Community participate in law enforcement activities, participate in promotion of peace and order through crime prevention. Stage of the criminal justice process. First is arrest. Talking a person into custody in order that he may be bound to answer. Charging. Police output in the form of an arrested or suspect because input in this stage, the prosecution will decided decide whether the suspect will be tried for the commission of the crime. They will decide whether the case will proceed to the next stage or will be dismissed. Complaint. Sworn written statement charging to a person with an offense subscribed by the offended any piece of officer. Information is an accusation in writing charging a person with the offense subscribed by the prosecutor and filled in court. Institutional approaches on CJS. Historical approach reveals the origin of current legal thinking and exemplifies the collective outcome of the account on modern day CJS. Legalistic approach examines the role of the legal theory in criminal justice. Socio-behavioral approach illustrate the contribution of psychology and the social science to criminal justice. World order approach adopt the holistic views based on religious, economic, and sociocultural concept of the world. Operational reality approach. Our theory attempts to consider the CJS as it is pragmatic in practice. Reform approach attempt in unjust and reform the components of CJS. Organizational approach. CJ procedure or its distinctive mechanism and evaluate them in consideration with the governmental standard. Law enforcement service. Man's first attempt to protect himself and his family is through barricades placed at the entrance of their caves and communities and by possessing weapons. Police originated from the Greek word politeia, meaning government of a city. Romans slightly changed with the word politia. The French changed the word into police and applied to those persons who actually enforce the law. The English borrowed the intact from the French and used to describe law enforcement officer. Words such chief of police, constable patrol, copper badge, bronze badge to address policeman in New York. The European word cup meaning to catch or seize. The basic function of the police is prevention of crime would basically attain through patrol. The word patrol is French word patrouiller, meaning to go through the puddles, which means to go an area and clean up the mess or social disorder. Ancient Babylon. The earliest record of organized police would date us back in 200 BC. In the ancient Babylon, where report was written in clay tablet, the Bible even mentioned also in the Book of Solomon, Isaac, Jeremiah, Matthew, and John, about watchmen whose duty in protect and arrest violators of the king's order. Manila Police Department. Act Number 183, Second Philippine Commission. The Manila Police Department was organized under the under the leadership of Captain George Carey, First Chief Police, Philippine Constabulary. Act Number 225. At this majority of PC personnel were Filipinos placed under the supervision of American officers. Bureau of Investigation. Act Number 181, Creation of Bureau of Investigation for the purpose of handling scientific and modern crimes. Bureau of Investigation under Act Number 157, Modification of the Division of Investigation under the Department of Justice. Republic Act Number 2678 was enacted of WWII for the expansion and recognition of the National Bureau of Investigation and transforming the Bureau into a investigative body and at the same time research service agency. Republic Act 4864, known as a Police Act of 1966. This act is to improve the efficiency of the police performance and the National Police Commission. Presidential Decree 765 created the Integrated National Police or INP, which serves as a local police. Republic Act Number 6975, approved by the President Corazon C. Aquino, known as DILG Act of 1990, unifying the local and national police to establish only our organization, national in scope but civilian in character. On Republic Act Number 8551, the Philippine National Police or PNP Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998 law governs the Philippines with national police and intention to provide an effective and efficient police organization and also the professionalization in the performance of their function. Nature and function of policing. According to Robert Peel, the police are the public and the public of the police power and function of PNP. Number 1 is enforce all law. Number 2, maintain information accusation in writing charging a person with an offense subscribed by the judiciary and filed with the court. Preliminary investigation is required to be conducted before the filing of complaint of information for an offense where the penalty prescribed by the law is a list of 4 years to 2 months and one day without regard to the fine. Mandamus. duty from the High Court ordering or compelling the performance of public duty. Prosecutor, he determines what crime should be charged against an offender. Regional State Prosecutor, she exercises immediate administrative supervision over all provincial and city prosecutors and other prosecuting officers of the province and cities comprised within its region. Prosecutor to determine whether and evidence gathered by the police meets and standards approved for successful prosecution and conviction. State prosecution who investigate administrative charge against facial or fiscal and other prosecution officers. Provincial and city prosecutors responsible in investigating all charge of crimes, misdemeanors or violations of all penal laws and ordinances within their respective jurisdiction. Prosecutor verifies whether or not the person arrested be placed under the criminal justice process.